The Wildlands. Once a verdant and bountiful land, has been seized by deep divisions. Tight-knit factions have splintered, and mistrust has seized the minds of the people. Once peaceful townships have devolved into unbridled war. But then, a mysterious outsider arrived. One with miraculous gifts of foresight and magic, like the fabled Arkon long ago. But this time, he was not the only one of his kind. As several of these outsiders arrived in the Wildlands, players must assume the role of one of these beings and vie for control of the various splintered clans. Arkon is a 2 to 4 player strategy bidding game, set in the tumultuous Wildlands. Players seek to become the true Arkon by uniting the different clans, or guiding one of the clans to gain complete control. To begin, each player draws their starting hands and moves to their first action phase. Here, players can use cards that harm their opponents, or increase their strategic position. Next, the active player has the opportunity to place a clan card up for bid. Each player then selects which cards they want to place face down for their influence values, and then all players reveal their bid cards. Whichever player has the highest total gains control of the clan. After bidding, players then move to a second action phase. As players battle to increase their board states, they must be careful, as all action cards can be countered by the matching card in an opponent's hand. At the end of each turn, if a player has put at least one clan up for bid, they draw a card. Then all players draw a card from the draw pile. Arkon creates unique gameplay through a number of dynamics. First, almost all cards have multiple ways in which they can be played. This reduces the impact of unlucky draws. Second, through a silent auction bidding process open to all players, there is interaction on all players' turns. Even the universal draw step at the end of each player's turn is designed to give players a continual stream of new card options. Finally, Arkon is a game where your decisions matter, but you are never out of the game, as there are a variety of cards that can swing the game back in your favor. Arkon forces you to make tough decisions, trying to keep your best possible cards and combinations in hand as you work towards your goal of becoming the Arkon.
We missed it. That's okay. Sorry. We're live. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We're here playing
New game.
new Kickstarter game. Not out yet, but we've got a print and play. You can find a color print and play places, but the game is called Arkon. So it's a strategic bidding game made by one of our close friends. One of our close friends, Casey Hill. We grew up with his younger brother AJ and Casey as well. He's only a couple years older than us, but yeah. Casey and the whole Hill family have always been there for us to help us out a lot, so we're here helping him today a little bit.
Yeah. So this is a game made by their company is Hill Gaming Company, and this is their first game. They just kickstarted it 14 days ago.
February 3rd or something like that.
Oh, 11 days ago.
Yeah, not long. It ends
a little under 2 weeks ago.
Ends early March.
Yeah, the Kickstarter ends early March. They've already hit. They're
like 500%?
Right on the verge of 500%,
which is the next stretch goal. So
yeah,
if you're thinking about
thinking about getting a new game, that's awesome and fun.
It's only $24 a copy too, so nice and cheap.
All right, so
let's see.
Let's talk a little about the game.
I guess the basics of the game is that there are 4 clans, and if you saw the intro video, you're trying to take control of them as the mythical Arkon being. So who's going to be the next Arkon? We're not sure. Probably not Josh or me. But
one of us.
Well, one of us
Since we're
between the
gonna be
two of us, I
playing the
guess. But
game.
like, you know, if there was an Arkon tournament, I'm sure someone else would kick our ass. Like
yeah.
AJ, he's really good at this game. But that being said, this hat's way too fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, mine too. Okay.
All right, that's enough of those hats.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the cards. So these are all the cards in the game. These are the 4 clans, the dwarves, humans, orcs, and elves. And the rest of these are action cards with the exception of negotiation, which is just only for bidding, essentially.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sure you guys can hear that.
Oh yeah, that's really bad.
Fucking helicopters, Jesus.
So yeah, these are the cards of the game. There's 14 unique cards, several copies of like the clans and other cards in the deck. 52 cards in the deck.
Honestly, I think one of my favorite parts about this game is the production quality.
Oh yeah, these cards look beautiful.
The imagery is awesome. We just got these printed at our print shop, and I asked them to use the highest settings on their printer, and they wouldn't do it. But I have a feeling that every single DPI that they printed is not wasted, and if they had printed more, I think they lied to us.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, you don't need it. I'm like, I don't really mind paying more, but okay, sure, fine, whatever.
These are really good looking cards.
They are really good looking.
Even these are printed at 600 DPI. They're
and of course our overhead shots looks like anus, so it's not like it's
but-
really gonna come out. That's okay.
They're sleeve, so they're full. They're standard.
Standard card size.
So they fit in. These are Magic the Gathering sleeves essentially.
These
Well,
are a little
card
bit
sleeves.
bigger, printed and cut. I'm not sure what happened at the print shop, but they kind of Ain't nothing wrong with that. You can see we have nice
backs.
nice beautiful backs. They couldn't get us the double-sided cards. We really wanted that, but that's okay.
Yeah. So this is a print and play copy. So the
Actual game will look better.
Will look much
as well. It'll have rounded edges.
Yeah, these edges could kill someone.
Yeah, they're so sharp.
So
well, the machine they used to cut them could also kill someone.
That's true.
Anyways.
Okay. So I mean,
let's just get into it.
The game happens in the 4 phases, so the video kind of explains a lot of that, but we can just go over it here as well. So you can play during the first phase, you can play any action cards out of your hand. So that would be like if you wanted to draw cards, you could do that at the beginning of your turn to give you
using
more
Arcane
advantage.
Insight, or maybe Change of Fate.
Change of Fate lets you discard 2 cards, and then you draw up to 2 cards, and
Plus
then
1.
you draw however many cards you discarded plus 1.
Yeah. A
The
net positive.
So yeah, there's action cards you can play that'll give you a better advantage during your turn. Then you move on to bidding. You saw how bidding worked in the video as well. You just compare the influence values of each of the cards.
One thing that I guess potentially might not have been explained in the video very well is if you have any clans played out, they also count towards your influence.
It was explained, but
clearly I wasn't.
It's weird in the rules. In the rules, they just describe it as +2, but it's actually just however many clans you have on the board increase your influence.
Unless those were beta rules. I'm pretty sure that's how it's played. Though.
I mean, those are the ones on the website.
No, never mind.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you have another action phase after that, where you can continue to do things like conquest, where you steal another player's clans,
and as well, if it isn't your turn, you have the option to counterspell any of those using the good old Magic the Gathering terms, and you can do that either by playing a peace card, or you can play the same card.
You can play the same card to counter a card.
There are a total of 2 response cards: peace, which is a counterspell, and tactical reversal, which takes their action card that they've played.
Instead of discarding it, you put it in your hand.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And that's pretty much it. The game is very strategic, highly nuanced.
There's a lot of different strategies. It's gets pretty crazy especially with we were playing a while ago. I don't know if anything had changed necessarily, but with 4 players, it can get really nuts.
Yeah. And the game just keeps going. And going, and it's fun. Very fun, but it can be really long. Because like normally you pick up a 52 card deck and you're like, oh, this will be a really lightweight game. It'll play really short. But I think we've played games that were like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
Like as long as it takes to play Race for the Galaxy or Star Realms. So
Exactly.
Let's clean up, get into it.
Okay.
We'll start playing.
So the start of the game. Oh, and by the way, the last phase is to draw. Everyone draws, but if the current players, whoever's turn it is, if they played something during their bidding phase, they get to draw an extra card. So it kind of incentivizes you to bid, which oftentimes, near the end of the game, you don't want to. Also, win condition is either having 4 of one clan on the board or 1 of each clan on the board under your control.
Yes. And so, one quick note: we weren't given any money. We aren't promised anything. This is just because we're all excited. I backed at the $100 level. Josh,
I backed at the
24,
the smallest level, but I'm thinking of getting another copy for Karen. We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, we're just really excited about this game. Really excited by the people who built it. I think their approach to this Kickstarter was very ethical as well. I was talking with some friends, and they were like, "Well, that's super cool," because at this point, I think Casey has pretty much built up all the connections he needs to print it, like as soon as it's ready to go live. And I think when are we slated to get the copies, in 2018 or something?
December
like that?
2018.
Yeah,
I
which
think
is
when they're
pretty good turnaround time. I backed a
good.
project called Mountaineers, and I think they had like a year and a half turnaround time. They have a lot more production than Arkon does, but they were still working things out.
Yeah. So
and they don't have like print and play copies, and and
So yeah, this Kickstarter seems...
Not saying that Mountaineers is bad, just saying that, it's expedient. Yeah. And of course the production's a little easier, but he's looking at improved card stock, like really high quality pictures, extra promotional art and stuff.
Yeah, the stretch goals are really cool.
Yeah.
They're printing promo cards and everything, and yeah. So I'm hoping, that this goes well. I mean, it's already 100% funded. Yeah. Right. So it's coming. They're gonna do runs, but it'd be really nice to get shipped. Some nice promo cards.
The fucking
so,
laser cut
wood box. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, let's get started.
Yep. So the game starts by dealing each player 5 cards, and so this game supports 2 to 4 players. We've really only ever played with more than 3 players.
Yeah,
3 to 4 players. So this will be kind of an experience for us.
Casey was saying that there's not
very much
content out right now on 2-player, version of this game. Essentially, not too many people have actually gone and played the 2-player version.
Right. So it'll be really fun to kind of sit down, explore, and hang out. So,
all right.
Hopefully you can follow along, and we're not, too crazy sounding. All right, I got 5 cards. Let's see who goes first.
Determine who goes first by rolling a die
randomly.
You can't see that at all, but it's a 5. This is a 5.
Great. That's a 7.
A 7.
We're rocking the big rolls here.
Really got to get average here. Okay.
Nope, that's on the side. That's the problem with these cage dice, There, that's an 11. All
right. It doesn't help that this is cloth now.
Yeah, we've got a fresh table.
Yeah,
cloth.
Fresh table cloth. Yes. Okay. So I'm going first. So I'm going to do my first action phase.
Which I might.
And so we'll see that what I want to do is I want to give myself as big of an advantage as possible with my hand, right? So I'm going to play an Arcane Insight, which is it allows me to draw 2 cards. And so Norman has a chance to respond to that. So if he's got a piece in his hand, if he's got a tactical insight, is that what it's called? In his hand,
no,
tactical reversal.
Yeah, or an Arcane Insight. I can counter it with
or an Arcane Insight.
With Peace or Arcane Insight, I can counter it, or Tactical Reversal, I can take it in my hand.
Well, in Arcane or Tactical Reversal, yeah.
And Arcane Insight is probably one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah, because having cards in your hand is really important. Also, there's a max hand size of 8.
So if you would draw more than 8 cards, then sucks to suck. You just draw as many till 8.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
Norman can't do
make
anything, so I'm going to draw 2 cards. And this is where it gets really, really crazy. Change of fate.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Okay, so I can discard 2 cards. Let's go ahead and discard a... Actually, yeah. Let's discard a Desolate and a Sabotage to draw 3 cards.
Flip.
Okay. So now I am satisfied with my hand, and I'm going to go into the bidding phase. So let's see. I want to put a dwarf up for bid.
Mm-hmm. And so now, because Josh is the active player, he's going to start with the bids. So he puts a dwarf, starts the bidding phase, and then he's going to pick a card, play it face down, as you guys saw in the video.
Yeah, and
if he wants to. He doesn't have to.
I have to bid cards first. So my card, I'm going to go ahead and bid this. And I place that face down on the board. And then Norman gets to choose what he wants to bid.
I ain't bidding shit.
Okay. So I lose a Desolate. And I get to keep my dwarf. So Desolate was worth 3 influence, and the dwarf was worth 2. So my total influence for that bidding process was 5. You can bid as many cards as you want during your turn, so I'm going to go ahead and bid an elf. And I will choose to play this card. So this is what's up for bid. Okay, so now we compare values. My current value is 4 plus whatever I've played. And then Norman's is a negotiation.
8.
Which is 8. So, I was actually a little unclear about this. Whether or not I could use the sabotage that I bid.
You can't use it after. It's the only... No.
Okay, so that makes sense to me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my total was 4, and his total was 8, because negotiation has an 8 influence.
And so, one more thing. Sabotage is, in fact, another response card that I didn't bring up. The effect of Sabotage is that it, if you play it after a player wins a bid, in response to a player winning bid, then you make that player pay an extra 3 influence. Otherwise, they have to discard their cards.
Actually?
Wait.
Or gain control of the clan. That player still discards their bids cards.
Never mind.
So you make them have to pay an extra 3 influence for the clan, or else you get that clan. Okay, and so I will play nothing.
Okay, so then we move on to the Arcane Insight.
No.
Yeah.
We move on to
the universal draw step.
No, we
What?
move on to the second action phase.
Oh, stupid. Yep.
Because I'm not bidding anything. So now it's the second action phase. However, I don't want to do anything in that phase either. So we're going to move on to the universal draw phase. And since I played a card during my bid phase this turn, I get to draw 2 cards instead of 1. Norman will draw 1. All right.
Uno Cardo. Okay, my turn.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to go ahead and play Thievery. So Thievery allows me to choose an opponent, look at that player's hand, and take 1 card.
Sure.
So there's only 1 opponent. I choose Josh.
Okay, and I can't do anything, so I'm going to show him my hand.
Just put it down.
Sure.
Not
So
that you
this
guys
is my
can really see
hand.
it anyways, but still, you know.
So I have in my hand a human, shifting allegiances, an elf, and a conquest.
Okay, so then I'm going to take that shifting allegiances, You might
Alright.
see some sneaky plays later with that.
So then I take all the rest of the cards back into my hand. His thievery is discarded.
So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to my bidding phase.
Okay.
To play.
So what are you putting up for bid?
I'm going to put a dwarf up for bid. So currently my bid's 4, plus this card. Actually, plus this card.
Okay. So I will play these 2 cards.
Wait, shit, this card is the one I have. Sorry. Okay. And
Okay.
ready, reveal.
So
Josh,
7
we're
versus 7. Uh-oh. We tied.
Fuck.
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold
remember
on.
the
I
rules.
have it on mine.
Okay. So we tied. I don't remember the rules. We'll get there.
It's the player that started.
Oh, sick.
The player that started. So you win.
So this stream brought to you by
Stop.
by us.
By us.
By us and my wallet. So I discard that. I have a dwarf.
I take all the cards back
That
into
you
my
bid,
hand that
that
I
makes
bid because I lost the bid.
That would suck if you discarded it. Actually, that might be. No.
That would just be that would
be
discourage
super
people
feel
from
bad.
bidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels super bad. Oh, son of a bitch! It only adds 1.
Oh,
Well, that's okay because we still. No, that means you won.
that means that I won, and I discard these 2 cards.
Yep.
Okay.
Rip. We're getting there. We look like a couple beanheads. We played this last night and this morning, and we're still playing it wrong. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We're not super great at games.
Okay, so that does make sense. So the
Yeah.
one that you play gives you 2, but any clans that you have give you 1.
Mm-hmm.
This also gets stacked like this, because if this stack becomes 4 dwarves, then I win.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean you can just
I mean,
lay them
I
all
guess
out,
it
but
doesn't
this
really
is
matter,
like
but-
this is like the cool way to do it, right?
It's like in Race to the Galaxy, how it tells you
Yeah.
your discard pile has to be messy.
Yep.
So as to prevent accidental drawing. Okay. Second main phase, second action phase. I'm a Magic player, you can tell.
Which is fine
Yeah, I know.
because Casey says that this game was heavily inspired by Star Realms, and Star Realms says that they were heavily inspired by Magic.
I mean, Star Realms doesn't have a stack, and this game clearly has a stack. So
Yeah, but
it's a very mild stack because you can only ever play 1 card in response. So that's something that you won't ever see here. Is wait,
you can't know.
you can keep playing, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can counter counters. You can piece.
Wait, can you? Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so, huh?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, okay, wait. No, you can't.
No, you
You
can't.
can't because piece is not an action card, right? It's a response
It's a
card.
response card. Yeah, you can only
So
counter
you can
response.
counter
Yeah.
action cards.
But can you piece?
But you can piece
with
a piece because you can play a piece to counter piece. That's really weird. We
Next
have
level
to,
shit.
we have to.
Universal draw set.
Okay, so then I draw. Yeah, we have to we have to find out.
We gotta fuck off this conversation stream.
Okay, so I'm going to just go into my bidding phase,
Okay.
and I'm going to put a human up for bid,
A human forbid. Sure.
and I'll go ahead and play this card. By the way, we're on the overhead shot, so
Yeah. I'm gonna play these 2 cards.
okay, ready?
Yep. That is a
A lot.
Yosh and a Desolate.
So you win By 1?
13, 11,
by 2.
12. What?
I have 10,
8 plus
12.
10 plus 12. I have 11.
Okay,
Fuck!
so I actually do win that. I forgot that.
Oh,
wait, how?
bitch.
11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 12. Wow. That's weird. That math didn't really add up to me. But okay. I lose my negotiations. Norman takes his Desolate and negotiations back into his hand. And I move on to my Universal Draw step.
Oh, that's what it is. So each player can only play 1 card in response. So I start here, and then it go. The way it's worded in the rules is The player in the immediate left of the player.
You respond, then respond, then respond,
and then it goes through.
And then it goes
once
through.
it gets back to me.
Yeah.
So I can't respond to your response.
Yeah. Because
it's not a true stack, not like Magic Gathering, no like real passing of priority. But it kind of feels that way when you get counterspelled a whole lot. Or,
yeah.
But to be perfectly honest,
it's pretty similar.
The game never feels bad, too, because there's always a chance to come back. Right now, it seems like Josh has a lot of cards on the board, but...
That's true.
I've got some pretty good plays.
I also have just 3 influence. Just there, on the board.
Yeah, it makes it hard.
Which is really... It's hard to... But then, you know, I mean, I know that he's got a Shifting Allegiances in his hand. Like, he can just take all of my cards. Granted, he would have to give me 3 of his cards. Unless he didn't have any cards.
I have a really big...
And he's got a really big hand right now, so...
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go ahead. It's your turn. Did you Universal Draw?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so... I am going to Desolate your Dwarf.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's... I take it into my hand. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a Dwarf.
Okay.
And I'm going to bid... this.
Sure.
Ready? And reveal.
Okay. So he played a negotiation, so his total influence was 11. Mine was 5. No, 3.
Okay. I'm going to put a human up for bid.
Okay. I will play this.
Actually, don't play anything. You gotta let me do that first.
Yeah.
I don't play anything, so...
you don't play anything, so if I just wanted to win... Yeah, it seems like a reasonable thing to do. Okay.
Okay.
And I win? Tie. That ties. I don't want...
Idiot.
Well...
That's fine.
That's fine.
You
It's
just have a
revealed.
dwarf, and it goes back to your hand.
Yeah, it goes back to my hand.
It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't want to give up 2 cards.
Sure, and then I'll play an orc.
Okay, so this is for winning the game.
This is for winning the game.
So either way, I'm throwing my hand out. And then Norman's throwing his hand out.
This is probably the simplest play we could make here. Just bidding our whole hand. How much is that?
That's not enough.
I win!
Yeah.
Yeah! I win I am the Arkon! Fuck you, bitch! Wait.
So I got a little screwed out of my hand because I kept on drawing not like stuff to deal with a board. But yeah, you know, that's how that goes. Which is why, you know, playing clans can be risky, because I just dumped my hand of all my clans in the first turn. And then Norman was able to respond to that.
Okay, we're good. Never mind. Sorry. I thought they were upside down.
They were last time.
Yeah. I had to go and fix them all because, well, somebody, not Josh.
You're the one.
Yeah, it was me. I fucked it up.
You're the one that does that. Okay. So, that was the first game.
Yeah. We'll probably stick to the normal shot unless someone requests the overhead shot from now on.
Yeah, just because, I don't know.
We'll keep explaining the game. There's some more complex plays. When we get into more complex plays, we'll switch back. But,
yeah, we'll switch over to the overhead and stuff.
We'll just keep it chilling.
Yep.
Set.
Well,
Nothing.
no. All right. All right. Yeah. So now we're entering, you know, kicking back and playing Arkon mode.
Yeah. What do you think? Best of like 3 or 4?
I don't know, dude.
You can't do best of 4. It doesn't really work that way, but we'll see. We'll just keep playing until we're tired, I guess. Maybe we'll play something after that too.
Yeah, maybe.
Leonard's upstairs. He didn't make it to school today for some reason.
Well, he would have been home basically by now, anyways.
He didn't accidentally skip school. Never mind.
No, he was definitely ill.
Definitely
He's
ill.
going to be,
but he's feeling much better
hospitalized. Now. But instead,
he stayed home and
stayed home and took some ibuprofen. And it turns out
that's all he needed.
That was all he needed.
Jesus. Yeah, I was like upstairs, and he walks in. I'm like, Leonard, you're not at school? And he's like, nope, I forgot. I was like,
I forgot.
Like, he didn't actually say that, but like, he might as well have. He was like, I overslept. I'm like, all right, you have to wake up at 9 to go to school. Like, basically 9 to go to school.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
I mean, I never went to school at MP.